What would you do if you saw a child desperately trying to save his mother, and everyone else just walked by? Michael Torres was driving home after a long day at the construction site when he saw something that made him slam on the brakes. On the side of the road, a woman lay motionless, and beside her, a small boy, no older than 8, was crying and trying to pull her to her feet. The gravel crunched under Michael's tires as he parked, heart pounding. "Help us, please," the boy shouted, tears streaking his dirt-covered face. "My mom, she's hurt." Michael didn't hesitate. He jumped out, kneeling beside the woman. Her face was bruised, clothes torn, and every inch of her seemed like she had been through a nightmare. "What happened?" Michael asked softly. "They hurt her, my grandparents." The boy choked out. "They said we had to leave. They pushed her down the stairs and left us there." Michael's chest tightened. Memories of his own childhood flickered. The loneliness, the helplessness, the bitter taste of seeing someone hurt and feeling powerless. He looked at the boy. "What's your name?" "Buddy." "Oliver." "I'm Michael. We're going to help your mom," he said, gently lifting her into the back of his truck. She was light, far too light, clearly malnourished. "Hold her hand, Oliver. Talk to her. Let her know you're here." At the hospital, Michael paced while Oliver clutched a stuffed animal. The woman was stabilized, treated for concussion, broken ribs, and severe bruising. Doctors confirmed she had been systematically abused. The authorities were contacted, but Michael couldn't walk away. The boy, alone and vulnerable, reminded him of something he hadn't realized he still carried inside, a call to action. Michael asked questions gently, learned her name, Rebecca. She explained how, after her husband died 6 months ago, his family had turned against her. She'd been blamed for his death, beaten, and thrown out. Her son had suffered too, trying to protect her and failing. A social worker arrived with plans for temporary shelter, but Michael couldn't bear the thought of them being separated or placed in a cold, unfamiliar environment. "They can stay with me," he said firmly. Everyone looked surprised. Rebecca's eyes filled with a mix of disbelief and something else, perhaps hope. "I don't know you," she whispered. Michael smiled gently. "I know you need help. My son Jake is about Oliver's age. You can stay until you're safe, until you figure out the next step. This is the right thing to do." That evening, Michael brought them home. Oliver and Jake became fast friends, bonding over video games and comic books. Rebecca, still weak but determined, moved slowly, grateful and cautious. Michael showed her the guest room. "It's not much," he said, "but it's clean and safe." Rebecca smiled through tears. "It's perfect. That's all I need." Over the next few weeks, a fragile new routine developed. Michael worked his construction job during the day while Rebecca rested. Oliver joined Jake's class at school. The boys became inseparable. Michael watched Rebecca gradually regain strength, both physically and emotionally. She started cooking, insisting on helping in any way she could, bringing warmth back into the household. One evening, as they shared a simple dinner, Michael asked, "Where did you learn to cook like this?" "My mother ran a small catering business before she passed. She always said feeding people is an act of love," Rebecca replied, smiling genuinely for the first time since he had found her on the roadside. Slowly, Michael saw her transform. Laughter returned, evenings became lighter, and hope returned to Oliver's eyes. They talked about her late husband, David, and the cruelty she faced from his wealthy family after his sudden death. She had believed everything had been lost, her husband's estate, life insurance. But Michael had an idea. "I know someone who can help," Michael said one day, dialing an old friend who was now a trusted lawyer. Weeks later, Rebecca sat in the office of Maria Rodriguez, reviewing documents she had finally gathered. Shock flooded her face. "Your late husband left a trust worth $50 million, Maria said. "Your in-laws lied. You and your son are the primary beneficiaries." Michael held Rebecca's hands as the weight of the revelation sank in. Justice was finally within reach. The in-laws tried to fight back with lawyers and threats, but evidence was clear. The case was settled. The trust returned to Rebecca and Oliver, and the family faced legal consequences for fraud and abuse. Throughout this process, Michael remained a steady presence, not as a savior, but as a friend, a guide, a father figure. Rebecca grew stronger, her confidence returning, and Oliver thrived knowing his life was no longer dictated by fear. Every small step, sharing meals, helping with homework, simple laughter between the boys, was a testament to what kindness could accomplish. Michael reflected often on the simple truth. Some acts of humanity, even without recognition or reward, could change lives forever. 3 months later, the household had transformed. The boys played together freely, laughter echoing through the home. Michael and Rebecca grew closer, bonded not only by gratitude but by shared experiences of loss, resilience, and hope. They discussed long-term plans, a bigger house for everyone to stay together, separate spaces for independence, but one roof to maintain a newfound family bond. Michael emphasized the choice to love and build a family was theirs, not out of obligation but genuine connection. The couple married quietly, the boys witnessing the vows. Years later, Oliver, now 25, took control of his trust and established the Torres Foundation, dedicated to helping single parents, abuse survivors, and children in crisis. Every year, they visited the roadside where Michael first found them, leaving flowers as a tribute, not to tragedy, but to second chances and new beginnings. Michael often reflected on the power of stopping when everyone else drove by. The richest inheritance, he realized, was not money, but the love, trust, and compassion that built a real family from nothing. Humanity and kindness had rewritten their story, proving that sometimes the simplest choices, offering help without expectation, could ripple through generations. Closing hook for engagement. Sometimes salvation comes from a stranger who stops when everyone else drives past. Sometimes family is built from kindness, not blood. Could you be that person today?